this clinical practice every time. It's not all about rupturing membrane or obstructed labor, this and that. In today's world, the medical doctor, the obstetrician gynecologist needs to survive. It needs to see practice in a different way. The traditional way of seeing practice of some, will I say, fully 100% community service may not really be sustainable in the modern world. So while we still maintain a clinical practice and service to community, we also have to look at the other aspects of life and practice. And that's where this evening's webinar topic is quite important on the practice impact entrepreneurship in ONG. And I can't thank the committee enough for sourcing and getting somebody who can give us the details and someone who, let's say, is an expert or who knows the game and the trade to deliver this topic. And this is a very, very senior member of this sector. In fact, a past secretary of the Eastern Sector, Sogon. And I will say that regime with Professor John as the chairman and him as the secretary really moved this sector forwards. And she's what they started, we are trying to sustain till then. So let me welcome in a special way the guest speaker for this evening, Dr. Johnny Okoye, who is an accomplished obstetrician gynecologist and entrepreneur. So let me also welcome all the other big people in this congregation now. I can see Professor Tony Igwebe, former CMD of NIUT, Dr. Bobby Iwe, Professor Ogwage of Fortune, State of Department, NIUT Navy, Dr. Mbamba from FMC, Professor G from Cowoods, Atoka, Professor Digwe from Navy also, and a whole lot of others. So and of course, my Vice Chairman, Professor Hebel Ekot from Calabar, you're all welcome. Professor Alegbeleye from Port Harcourt, you're welcome here. And so many others. So it's my pleasure to now welcome to the platform Dr. John Okoye, who will be speaking to us in the next few minutes on the topic today. Dr. Okoye, you are welcome. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Mora. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And I believe others can.
All right, thank you very much. So I presume I should go straight to deliver what I have for you because we're far behind schedule.
Yes, go ahead with that.
Okay, I should go ahead with my presentation. I just want to confirm you're hearing me, then I'll go ahead.
Yes, I can hear you, and I believe others can too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So this evening, welcome. I wish to welcome everybody to today's webinar. And I want to thank Sogon Eastern Sector first for inviting me to make this presentation. I want to, first of all, just give me a minute. All right, so today we're going to talk about practice, profit, impact, rethinking OBGYN through entrepreneurship. According to the Federal Ministry of Health statistics of 2024, the total number of health facilities in Nigeria is 40,017. And this is expected to cater for over 250 million Nigerians. Private hospitals make up only 27% of this number, about 10,655. And this is mostly at secondary level. However, exact numbers we know do fluctuate because facilities do close and new ones open almost on a daily basis, especially since the economic crunch. We know that access to quality medical services is key to the overall survival of any community. So the huge deficit in availability of functional and efficient healthcare facilities in Nigeria makes consideration of establishment of private medical practice a very great idea this time. Entrepreneurship is the activity of setting up a business or businesses taking on financial risk in the hope of profit. The key words here are setting up and profit. You cannot be an entrepreneur if you don't take that bold step to set up. You cannot be an entrepreneur without making profit. There are traits that a successful entrepreneur must exhibit. Number one is vision. He must have the vision and know what he wants to do. He must have passion to push on, because it is that passion that will make him sustain the business. Then he must be disciplined. An entrepreneur must be disciplined enough not to use his capital for things that will not improve the business. For example, you have some money and your friends are buying the latest Mercedes cars. You decide to go and buy a Mercedes car. There must be discipline. You should draw the boundaries between your capital and your profit. You must have risk tolerance. You must be ready to take risks. You must be ready to fail. Learn your lessons, pick up again, and recommence again. Then you must be able to pay attention to details. Of course, you should be versatile, because at the beginning, you may be your accountant, you may be your internal auditor, you may even be your pharmacist, like some of us did when we started. So versatility is important. But above all, a successful entrepreneur must believe in self. So let's talk about setting up. How does one set up a successful private practice? First of all, there must be a mental shift from just being a doctor to being a doctor entrepreneur. They are two different things. The traditional doctor is made to think that discussing profits is unethical. It is not unethical, because there is no difference between the doctor entrepreneur and the other businessmen. There is no difference. You must make your profit to remain in business. So that mental shift must be there. As a doctor who wants to get into private practice, you must shift from just being a doctor to seeing yourself as a doctor entrepreneur. Then you have to, first of all, adhere strictly to regulatory requirements in your locality. Identify the regulatory requirements that are needed. State Ministry of Health, NAFDAC, MDCN, whoever is involved, NMA, Pharmaceutical Society, Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria, just make sure that whatever you're setting up in your practice, that all regulatory requirements are met. It is very, very, very important that you do that. Then consider some form of apprenticeship. In every business, it's important to learn the ropes, learn the tricks in the game. You don't just get up and move. Probably you retire after 20 years in employed service, and then you use your retirement savings and go and set up a practice. You may not be lucky. It would be nice to attach to some people who are already in this business, learn a few things, be honest and open with them, that you want to understudy what they're doing. I can assure you that so many of our colleagues will welcome you. I, for one, will welcome anybody who wants to come and see what we do. Then you determine the type of practice you wish to set up. Do you want to go solo or you want to do a group practice? Complementary specialties can come together, and even subspecialists can come together and establish a practice. I must sound a warning here. Solo practices aimed at just funding the founder's lifestyle are not sustainable. Keep it simple and manageable within available resources, avoiding excess burden of loans at onset. Let the business scale itself. St. Catherine's Hospital was started in 1999 with only 7 staff, including myself. Today, 26 years later, the hospital has 423 staff in its 3 locations, Port Harcourt, Abuja, and Bonny Island, NLNG. What are the challenges one might face in setting up? Number 1 is financing, the funding. Funding could come through personal savings if you're lucky. Loans, most people go for loans. And investors. To qualify for loans, one must keep a good cash flow record. Avoid spending income without writing it through the banks. Any money that you make, you have to, first of all, pay it in, have the record in the bank, and you can even spend it almost immediately. The other way that one can set up is by gifts. If you're lucky, you could get some gifts. I benefited from gifts. The first 500,000 naira that we used to pay for the accommodation for St. Catherine's Hospital was a gift that was given to me by a client's husband where I was working after a successful surgery. I used it and paid for 2 years rent, 250,000 for 2 years. So it's still possible to set up using gifts, using myself as an example. Hire professionals to prepare cash flow analysis to convince investors is important about adequate return on investment. It's important you do that. Hire professionals. You don't need to give them full-time employment, but it is important that you hire professionals so that you get to do the right things at the right time. So now let's go to running a hospital for profit. There are 4 key factors in running a hospital for profit. You can see on my slide, those are happy doctors counting all the cash. That's the way it should be. The 4 key factors are efficiency, revenue management, staff management, and finally, growth and sustainability. We are going to start with efficiency. Standardized care. Using standard operating procedures to ensure quality control is key. This reduces staff attrition and waste and helps you to build your brand in the long run. When you have SOPs covering prescriptions, laboratory investigations, everything you do in your hospital, you must have SOPs that guide the doctors, the nurses, and all staff. That way you will have standardized care. If a woman walks into your establishment with ruptured membrane, whether it is Dr. A or B or C on duty, it is the same standard and quality of care that that woman will receive. Avoid overheads. Keep overheads being high. Keep them low. So you must avoid overstaffing. Do not start. I remember I told you we started with 7 staff when we opened St. Catherine's in 1999. When you overstaff, where at the beginning, it increases your overhead and it makes it difficult for you to scale the business. Employ most competent people to work with you, not necessarily relatives. Days of using your husband, your wife, your child, your cousin, your in-laws as part of your staff are over. You don't have to employ them, except they are the most competent for the positions. If they are not the most competent, please, no sentiments in the business, do not employ them. Get the competent people to make the money and get them to enjoy and spend the money. I'm sure a female who is running a hospital with competent hands and making so much money, the husband will be very happy. Instead of answering the administrator, he will be very happy to be blowing the cash. Manage your suppliers, very important. You must have negotiations with your suppliers. You must have negotiations with your suppliers. For us, for instance, all our pharmaceuticals are bought on credit. We have an arrangement with a pharmaceutical company that supplies all the pharmaceuticals, drugs, and consumables that we need, and we pay in 45 days. And because of the volume of clients we have, we use all these things up before 45 days, get the money from the clients, pay them, they supply another one, and we take the profit. So we don't spend a penny in purchasing medications and consumables. Then you must have strict internal auditing process. It's very important to keep your records. You must have that. Then technology. Embrace technology. Deploy hospital management softwares, the electronic medical records, and so forth. This has advantages, including reduction in manpower needs. Human resources and accounting efficiency can go a long way using technology. Technology can help you on client notifications, appointment scheduling, and all that. It helps you to reduce the waiting time of the clients. It helps you to reduce the waiting time. Remember, guys, that patients are actually impatient. So the shorter the time it takes them to get care, receive care in your facility, the better it will be for them. Then energy optimization. Energy optimization. You must think about reducing your energy bills. It's very important. One of the ways of reducing energy bills is by training your staff efficiently. If the staff understand why they should turn off all equipment and every gadget that is not in use, they are more likely to abide by that and turn off all the gadgets when they are not in use. And This will save you a lot of money. You cannot even imagine it. They turn off fans, ceiling fans, wall fans, air conditioners, everything that is not in use. It will be saving a lot of money for you. You can shift to solar. St. Catherine's Hospital in Abuja is running fully on solar. We have a 95 kVA solar system which powers the entire hospital and saves us 3.5 to 4.5 million naira per month. Per month. That's the amount of money we save. We have not powered our generator in a very long time at our hospital in Abuja, and there's a project ongoing to replicate same in our Port Harcourt hospital. So let us talk about strategic revenue management. Billing and collections optimization is key. Technology is very important here. You get softwares to help you to track your bills and help you to track collection of your bills. So as a CEO, at one touch of the button at the close of the day, you will see how much you have made. Don't keep it for 1 month. Every day you see how much you have made. That will make you happy enough to call on your guys to have a bottle of Heineken or something. So, but it's important you keep an eye on your billing and collections. HMO management is key. Technology here, you can leverage technology here too. Minimize insurance claims, denials, and delays. You can appoint billing managers. We have billing managers in all our centers, and these billing managers, their duty is to liaise with the HMOs and ensure that we get little or no denials of our claims. It's very important. You can equally diversify your revenue streams. Set up standalone diagnostic services, specialized clinics like IVF and the rest, wellness packages like annual medical checks, domiciliary services, etc. There's no limit. You just think out of the box. You will see something you can do to increase your revenue stream. You can make money too from non-patient income. In your facility, you can have a canteen. You make food and sell food to inpatients, sell food to patients' relatives, and sell food to your staff who are on duty. You can have a shop where you sell all the things that the clients will need, starting from soap, toothpaste, slippers, baby things, diapers, and all that. You can have a standalone pharmacy within your hospital or even outside the hospital and own it. You can make money from parking if you are in a high density area like those in Lagos or very high density locations within the eastern sector where people find difficulty getting parking spaces. So all you have to do is to charge some fee for people to park within your premises, and you are making some money from that. So let's talk about staff management, which is key. You have to reduce your high staff turnover. One of the best ways of doing that is by offering incentives. You can offer profit sharing and partnership to your key staff. Identify your key staff. It's not any staff in your facility. You start offering profit sharing and partnership. Identify those who bring value to the business, and these are the people you wouldn't like to lose to your competitors. So you offer them profit sharing and partnership. That helps to secure their loyalty. Create a conducive work environment. That is very important. A lot of employees resign not because of remunerations, but because they are not comfortable in the work environment. Your work environment must be devoid of harassment of any form at all. No form of harassment. You should show empathy as the chief executive officer. Show empathy to your staff. You should notice when your staff, who normally is very cheerful, is carrying a gloomy face. You should show empathy when they lose a loved one, or they have somebody, a loved one who is sick or something. Don't just make it look like you're only interested in the work. Show empathy. These are ways of keeping your staff. Then pensions and housing. Get your staff to register for pension funds, to pension fund administrators. They should register and register for housing funds too. And then you make remittances to pensions and housing as agreed. These are even regulatory requirements by the regulators. So if you do that, it helps the staff to stay with you because they have things they look forward to when they are done working with you. Then we go to performance management. Performance management is key to the growth of any organization. Performance management, quite key. What we have on the screen now is what we use in St. Catherine, is our template. First of all, you set the goals and define your SMART metrics. I'm sure many of us know what SMART means. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, it has to be reasonable, and then it must be time-bound. So you set the goals based on these metrics. The moment you set the goals, you start the process. You do the training, you track the progress regularly, and mitigate all obstacles that can stop you from achieving your goals. And continuous evaluation is important. And you end up with reward. You must give recognition and reward good performance. Reward doesn't have to be money. A handshake from the MD might be all a housekeeper needs to put her best in the coming year. Just a handshake. And you ask someone to take a picture with you and your housekeeper, congratulating her on meeting all the performance goals that were set. So it doesn't have to be something very big. You can make plaques and give to them. They love such things. They hang them up in their offices. Some of them take them home. Some take it to their parents and all that. All these encourage your staff to stay with you and look forward to coming to work the next day. I want to go to growth and sustainability of a hospital business. Number one is marketing. You must actively market your hospital to build reputation and increase patient volume using quality service as a competitive advantage. If you don't render quality service, don't waste your money marketing. The first thing you must do is to render quality service. Then you market. There is nothing stopping you from marketing. All the rules, the laws will only stop you from advertising individual professionals. But you can market what you do in your facility. You can do that without me telling anybody that you're the best in doing it, and nobody will come after you. Increase your visibility using social media. Increase visibility. Social media is important. You can use TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all of them. In fact, a few days ago, I met a woman in one of our clinics, and the woman, after seeing her, the woman was saying, Doc, would you like to know how I got to know about your facility? I said, yes, I would like to know. She said it's via TikTok. I said, TikTok? I said, why? TikTok? I thought it's Instagram. She said, no. That her sister told her, if you want to know a good hospital, don't go to Instagram. That they send their staff to go and put up posts on Instagram. If you go to TikTok, you see people who do short videos, real short videos about facilities and all that. That's where she went. And she saw a couple of women who were happy with St. Catherine's services. And that was how she decided to come and register for her antenatal in St. Catherine's Hospital. So you can do content marketing. We do content marketing. You get your staff to our gynecologists, our pediatricians, they put up content, they put up advices. In fact, we have a daily content space on Instagram that we put up from the hospital every day. We've actually created a social media department in St. Catherine's Hospital, a full department on social media, because that is the way to go. These days, over 70% of people who will visit your facility will check you out on social media first before they start coming. Then build a brand. You must build a brand. When you achieve this, patients patronize the hospital because of the brand and not for individual physicians. So you're not going to be worried about employing a doctor and he leaves tomorrow with your patients. They are not going to be able to do that. It's not possible. They are not going to be able to do that. I, as the CEO of St. Catherine's, Dr. John Okoye, I have not consulted in St. Catherine's Hospital, Port Harcourt, in the last 10 years. But I receive alert every day on my phone, coming from that facility and coming from women who are happy that they are there. A lot of people will not even know you. One of my happiest days was sometime last year. I visited our Port Harcourt Hospital for a routine meeting with my management team, and I was in the office waiting. One staff entered, saw me, and asked me if I was waiting for somebody. And I said yes. She asked me who I told her. She left. As she was leaving, I called her. I said, "Who are you?" She said she's a staff in the billing department. I said, "How long have you worked for St. Catherine?" She said, 3 years. And I was so happy that I could move around St. Catherine's Hospital and some staff don't even know who that is, not to talk about the patients. But every day you go, you have a full house of clients coming. That is building a brand. And we all should aim at building a brand. Expand your services, open up branches. Nothing says that a hospital must be one branch. A lot of people have always made that mistake. Open up branches in economically viable locations. Do your feasibility, and you think somewhere is going to make money for you. You are in Abakaliki, and you think that Ohafia will make money, and it's not so far. Afikpo, not Ohafia. You can open in Afikpo if you think it's economically viable. So expand your services. You can set up imaging centers, set up laboratory services that could even be standalone. All these you are doing to increase the income of your parent body. Choose your target population. That is very, very, very important. Choose your target population. Gone are the days when the hospital with the highest crowd is the one making the money. These days, a hospital could schedule 10 patients in a day and then make more money than a doctor who didn't have time to eat lunch and saw 100 patients on the same day. The same day. So you should choose your target audience, target population. Carve out a niche for yourself. Get into specialized care, and then you will have more time to go and play golf, more time to stay with your family, and more time to do other things. And at the end of the day, trust me, more money. Now let's talk about succession. You cannot talk about success without succession. Success is incomplete without succession. Succession can be by bloodline or non-bloodline. If you choose your bloodline, please don't compel your children to take over your practice. Do not do that, please. Let them choose their own path. If they choose to be with you on their own volition, that is fine. You may have to send them to other facilities that are doing better than you to go and work and understudy them for some years before they come and head your facility. Non-bloodline is equally okay. You advertise and employ the most competent people to grow your business. Let's talk about the impact that a successful entrepreneur will have. A successful entrepreneur will create jobs in his community and increase economic growth within that community. He can fund community outreaches, meet up with corporate social responsibilities. He will have sufficient money to train his staff. Don't be afraid to train your staff. Do not. Some people don't train their staff because they think that when they train them, they will leave them and go elsewhere. It doesn't matter. You're training someone. The few days he will stay with you, it might make him to deliver better service to you. Set up a foundation. We have a St. Catherine's Hospital Foundation. That helps us to reduce our tax burden and helps us to meet most of the other things that we would like to do. Set up a foundation when you're successful. Put in some of your income into your foundation and use it to help the indigent people. You know, women, use it to take care of those women who may be rushed into your facility late at night, bleeding, will need a surgery, but they don't have the money to they don't have money to make any deposit. You set up that foundation, and the foundation will take care of all that. Now, for the young obstetrician and gynecologist who might be considering entrepreneurship, I want to say that the one-man business trap versus the group model is what you need to look at. But I will urge you to consider practice sharing. Group model seems to be more appealing these days. Have strategic collaborations. You can identify senior colleagues near retirement where you can bring modern skills to them in exchange for equity or a path to ownership. There are lots of senior colleagues whose children have refused to come back from America and Canada. And they've set up a good practice. They've run it well. They are now way in their 70s. They are tired. They are losing clients because of age. Identify with them. Bring your modern skills and knowledge. Get them to use their funds to equip the place. And then you discuss equity with him or even total ownership. Trust me, many of them would be willing to give up the ownership to you for a certain fee, or just keep a little equity until they pass on. Because most times they are just there alone with their wife, and both of them are old. Clinical differentiation is key. Subspecialization. I must give kudos to both colleges for introduction of subspecialization in residency training in O&G. I think that is the way to go. It's going to help when you have young obstetrician gynecologists in different subspecialties. They can actually come together and work together. The young obstetrician gynecologist must be totally integrated in his community. Membership of SOGON is very important. Membership of SOGON is going to help you with networking. It's going to help you with growing your knowledge, learning from your senior colleagues, your contemporaries, and your juniors. So SOGON membership is key. NMA, alumni associations, even village meetings are important. You must scale yourself. Let people know you. Gone are the days when doctors are seen as introverts. You must be extroverted and move out, meet people. Because when they know you and they have anything that they think will require your service, you're the first person that will come to mind. Conclusion. Times have changed. Days of working in silos are over. Word of mouth alone can no longer be sufficient advertisement for your business. Exceptional customer service, efficiency, and embracing technology are best ways to win your customers. I want to end this presentation with a quote. The dancer who insists on the old steps will stumble, not because they lack skill, but because they refuse to listen. Wisdom is not just strength. It is awareness. It is humility to adjust when circumstances shift. In relationships, careers, leadership, and personal growth, the rhythm will change. Technology evolves. People evolve. You too should evolve. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can we give a round of applause to our own Dr. John Okoye? He has educated us how to start from little beginnings to the very top. May I call on our chairman, sector chairman, Professor Oyuje Umora, to please make a few comments. Prof, sir.
Okay, thank you, Chairman of the subcommittee. And of course, we had it all, starting from beginning with 7 staff. Now we're talking of over 460 something staff. That is no mean feat. And you can see why he was chosen to deliver this topic. I think we need to know, initially there was a little glitch, so we did not really introduce him properly. But you realize that Dr. John Okoye, not just being a past sector secretary for this part of Sogon, he's also the chairman and CEO of St. Catherine's Hospital, and he has told us he has so many branches, starting from 1, now he has up to 4 branches. He's also somebody that is interested in banking and industrial farming. He's also the CEO of Frontline Microfinance Banks and a CEO of one very big industrial farm. So he has it all, like he said, you have to diversify. So he's practicalizing his ideas. So it's not just talking the talk, but also walking the walk. So thank you. Having heard him, I'm sure we have so many questions, people needing clarifications, because I'm sure many of us want to key into this vision, because that's the way to go, not just running around their hospitals, public hospitals, day in, day out, and so on and so forth. So having said that, I'll hand over to the chairman to coordinate the question and answer session. Over to you.
All right, thank you, my own chairman. I don't know whether there will be questions from the floor. There are no questions in the chat platform. Any questions from the floor? People are saying, nice job, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Very good, sir. Really impressive. Thank you, sir. Highly impressive and truly inspiring. Thank you very much, sir. This is the best entrepreneurship presentation I have ever listened to in my life. God bless you. Thank you, sir. I must commend you, sir, for the excellent and exhilarating presentation. Thank you, sir. That's a very good delivery. Thank you very much for the delivery. I have a question. So, may we have the question from Confidence? Confidence Ogomeda. Confidence, Olameda, please, can we have your question? While we're waiting, we have a lot of thank yous, beautiful presentation. Better to start with low fees to attract patients, or start with a target population that can afford high quality services. Okay, that is the question by Confidence. Confidence is asking, Dr. Koesa, Confidence is asking, is it better to start with low fees to attract patients, or start with a target population that can afford high quality services? Please, sir.
Okay. Well, you must determine what you want, first of all. Do not start with low fees, if you ask me, to attract patients. It's like marrying a wife and every day during honeymoon, you take her feet and you are massaging the feet. Then tomorrow, because of your job, you no longer have time to massage. She will say you have changed. So if you start with low fees and you begin to increase your fees, you may have issues. Do not fix arbitrary fees. Your fees must have a basis. There are ways of setting up your charges. We have standardized charge for everything we offer. We don't look at the kind of card you came to the hospital with to give you our bill. You must standardize it. Look at your cost of rendering that service and then put your profit. And your cost includes your accommodation, your overhead in terms of staff, and your own remuneration. You must put yourself on a salary. You know, if you don't put yourself on a salary, you won't be able to actually know how much to put in as your own efforts. So don't charge low fees for the purpose of attracting clients. It will end up backfiring. Decide what you want. If you're setting up a subspecialty practice, for instance, and you know that you're in high demand in your locality, good, that gives you an edge. You can now put your fee the way you want it. So that is it. So low fees, I will not advise low fees just for the purpose of attracting clients. It's not sustainable.
Okay, experience is the best teacher. We heard that. There are other thank yous, and then somebody is asking us, is age a barrier in starting a business like hospital, say 50 and above? Then another one asks, MDCM codes prohibit advertorials. In fact, there's a new law regarding content creation. How do we avoid this banana peel? Sir, please, I hope you're keeping the questions. I've given you two now.
Yes.
Okay, then is it advisable to get loans to start a hospital? And what is one key factor to avoid to prevent crisis, paucity of funds in the beginning? And then Chidima asks, how do we pursue entrepreneurship, private practice, while still working in the public sector without robbing Peter to pay Paul and maintaining ethics? At what point, sir, did you realize it was time to move fully to private practice? That is resigning from public sector. Then, sir, what subspecialty partnerships work best together? What other specialty?
Let's say, I think you're giving so many questions now. Let me take some of them, then we take the rest, please.
Okay, let's do this. Thank you.
Yes. So at what point did I choose to get into private practice? Well, as a young resident, I had always desired to get into academics initially. Then I did get into academics. Professor Apwaka employed me. When I did that for a couple of months, one day I was coming back and I told myself that this is not what I needed. I needed to make more money to fund the kind of lifestyle I wanted. So that was the point. So it wasn't a decision I took from the beginning. I was already a consultant obstetrician gynecologist before that awareness came to me. So at that point, I decided I was going to face private practice and not go back to academia at all. So I approached Professor Barker and told him, he said, no, John, we need people like you here. No, 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 no. I said, sir, I've decided. He said, he tried to persuade me. I said, okay, sir, why don't I take 1 year of leave of absence? After 1 year, I may come back. He said, that sounds better. After 2 months, I visited him with 2 cartons of wine and told him not to bother about the 1 year, that I know I'm not going to come back. You know, so it wasn't like I had started making the money, but the realization dawned on me when I started that this was where I was supposed to be. So that's where I said, you must have that vision. When you have the vision, don't let anybody push you into setting up private practice. It's not everybody that is cut out for private practice. So we all have what we are cut out for. Identify what is best for you, and then you go for it. Now, taking loans to start hospital. There is nothing wrong with taking loan. I took a loan of 1.5 million naira in 1999 to start off my hospital. 1.5 million naira. It took me about 2 years to pay back that money. About 2 years. So there's nothing wrong with taking loans. But remember what we said during the presentation is keep it simple and manageable at the beginning. Don't go taking a facility of 100 million when you don't know where you're going. Let the business scale itself. Start small, and then let it grow. As it's growing, you'll be expanding. You get to a point where the banks will be going after you and asking you to come and take 1 billion naira loan. They are doing that, you know. But for you to get to that point, you would have kept your records very well. Make sure that all the money you make goes through the bank before you use it to buy fuel, before you use it to buy provisions on your way home and all those kind of things. You know, so taking loan is okay. You can actually not grow a business without loan. Right now, St. Catherine is sourcing a loan with Bank of Industry. We are about to get a loan that we want to use to start a new facility from Bank of Industry. So even Dangote Refinery is still asking for loans. Nigeria is still borrowing money. So if you're in business, you must keep borrowing. So you better start learning it from the beginning, but keep it simple. And when you borrow money, please utilize every penny of that money for the purpose. Don't be carried away to spend a penny outside the purpose. Focus on your profit when you want to spend money. MDCN rules, the rules are there, even on content creation, they are there. But that is why you must work with professionals who will advise you. We have a legal advisor. We have everybody. They are not full, they are not on our payroll as a full staff. But we have an agreement. We know how much we pay for the retainership. So before you do anything, we first of all make sure that we are not breaking any regulatory laws. It's very, very important. Very important. So, but MDCN does not say you should not create content. It's not what they said. But there are simple and is well spelled out. If you look it up, you will see the rules on doing that. So advertisement is allowed. but there are barriers to what you should advertise. Age barrier, more than 50 years setting up a practice. Well, I don't think there's an age barrier. It depends on your energy level. But I will advise, like ndị Igbo sị na ara na-aka mma n'okorobịa, I will advise those of us who are older, you could attach with somebody. You mustn't have your own facility. I have a colleague of mine, a friend of mine, who tried running a hospital and it didn't work and he had to close. I offered him my facility to see his clients, do his surgeries, take his money and pay our fees. And that is what he's doing now. So when you're way over 50, you don't need to go through all that stress. Identify who is doing it well in your locality. Approach him. And trust me, most doctors, if you approach them with sincerity and they know what they are coming for, they will work with you. I will work with you. You come and tell me, oh, you're retiring from public service, you now want to set up something. I say, okay, come, no problem. Choose your days. We have consulting rooms, we have theater, we have everything. Use the facility. The accountant tells you how much you pay us. That's it. I hope I've tried to answer some of the questions. I can take more now.
All right. Thank you, sir. This is just too much. What subspecialty partnerships work best together? What other specialties work best with obs and gynae?
Okay. So the specialties that work best for us here is majorly pediatrics. We have full-time pediatricians working for us, just like we have full-time obstetrician gynecologists working for us in our facilities. So they collaborate and it makes the work easier for the obstetrician. The moment you deliver the baby, the pediatrician takes over. When you have to take a decision on certain things, you have a meeting with the pediatrician and you all agree. The next specialty is general surgery. General surgery is another specialty that works best with obstetrics and gynecology. So when you have issues in the abdomen of your women, you have a general surgeon, they can always come together with you and intervene. But we have all specialties in our facilities. We have almost all specialties. We have plastic surgeons. We have almost all ENT surgeons. In fact, in Abuja, we have 2 ENT surgeons. We have 2 urologists. We have 2 general surgeons. And they use the facility and we all work together. Everybody has their patients and there are days of consultation and days of operation, of surgeries.
Okay, so what system of billing with regards to running a hospital canteen in a private practice is most achievable? The next is, thank you for the eye-opener. Can you start a hospital by converting a 4-bedroom apartment, for example? Or is it compulsory to build a structure before starting? I think that is it. Everybody else is shouting your praises and all that. Thank you, sir.
Okay, 4-bedroom conversion is not bad, but it depends on where you are. If you're in the hinterland, yes, that's okay. But if you're in a metropolitan city, these days, aesthetics, people look at it. There are, when people, the high-paying people may not want to come to a 4-bedroom facility. They may not want. But you can, if you are a subspecialist offering such subspecialty services, You can set up an IVF center in a 4-bedroom facility. You can, comfortably. You can. It's very, very easy. One room will be your reception. The other one will be your procedure room where you do your hysteroscopies and stuff. The other room will be your IVF lab. Then you have your collection place beside it. It's 4-bedroom. That's a full IVF center. You've set it up. So if you're a subspecialist, you can work with a 4-bedroom or even less. But if you want to go into general obstetrics, bread and butter obstetrics, starting with 4-bedroom might not be okay. Where will you hold the antenatal? Where will you do the deliveries? Where will you do your surgeries and all that? So it all depends on what you are aiming at doing. For the canteen, in our canteen, we have full canteens in our hospitals, and we have the kitchen staff, and we have those who serve the meals. We come up with menus. The menus are available to the clients. You scan it, you know what you're going to have for breakfast. Then you can choose from the options, and the cost is there. So you choose from the options, they give it to you and come with a POS and you pay. I hope I answered the question.
Sorry, perfectly well, sir.
Okay.
And we want to thank you again. But I need to call on Dr. Ivara Komomo to tell a little about Southeastern Sector Sorghum. Komomo, please.
Good evening, everyone. You're to the web and welcome to the Eastern Sector. We have 9 states. It is doing wonderfully well and having a lot of activities, and we encourage our residents, our consultants, and every other person to be part of what is happening in your chapter. And we have the upcoming events. Excited to say that next week on Saturday, 14th of March, in the city of Umuahia, they are ready to host the first quarter Eastern Sector quarter meeting. And you're all invited, the chairman of the sector, the secretary, and the chairman of the chapter, Dr. Oliver Onwube, and the team can't wait to have us in Abia State. And he said, come and see the new Abia State. We have our annual membership dues. For members who are fellows and also senior members, 10,000 naira, and the associate members 5,000 naira. And we have the account details on the screen. And we'll also be sharing the information on the chat box. You can click on it and get further information. There is also an evaluation form that you have in the message box, in the chat box. Please, we kindly ask every one of us to go there and click on it. We want to serve you better. We want to know what you think about our webinars and how we can, the topics you would like to have in subsequent webinars so that we can plan for them and present it. So the next webinar is going to be on the 5th of June, 2026. And we say you should stay tuned and look forward to another exciting and thrilling topic. Follow us on our social media handles. We have the Facebook, we have LinkedIn, Twitter, or X, Instagram, and also YouTube. And happily to say, for all those who may have had network glitches, this particular webinar is live on YouTube. And so you can go back there and listen to the great wisdom tips we got from our teacher, Dr. John Okoye. Don't forget to sign on the evaluation form. And thank you very much once again for joining the webinar. On behalf of the Eastern Sector, we say be part of all that is happening in the Eastern Sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Komomo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, may we call on Dr. Amuche to give a very warm vote of thanks to our guest speaker. Dr. John Okoye. Dr. Amuche, please.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much, Ma. Good evening, distinguished professors and colleagues. On behalf of the Southern Eastern Sector and the webinar committee, I want to sincerely appreciate everyone who made it to this first quarter webinar titled Practice, Profit, Impact, Rethinking OBGYN through Entrepreneurship, a Success. Our profound gratitude goes to the resource person. Thank you so much, Sir Dr. John Okoye of St. Catherine's Hospital, Abuja, for sharing this wonderful knowledge and insight with us. Thank you, sir. We are grateful. Your presentation has broadened our perspective on integrating entrepreneurship into OBGYN practice, and we are grateful, sir. I also appreciate our chairman, the chairman of the Eastern Sector, Professor Ije Omora, for making this possible and for giving us opportunity to serve. Thank you, sir. In a special way, we thank the chairman of the webinar committee, Dr. Emily Nzeribe. Thank you, ma, for all you do and for putting this all together. Finally, let me appreciate all that participated, all that took out time of their busy schedule to join and contribute to this webinar. We are grateful and we urge you to join us during the second quarter session. Thank you so much. Have a lovely night rest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dr. John Okoye, God bless you. God bless everyone who has made it possible today. I think we'll call it a night. Good night, all. Should go, Abi.
Thank you very much. We would end the meeting shortly. We ask you kindly fill the evaluation form. Thank you very much and have a nice weekend. See you in Abia State next weekend for the sector meeting.